Welcome back, everyone, to the Mechanics of Poetry. This is lucky episode 13 of season 2, where we do one-on-one interviews with poets, looking at 3 of their poems in depth. You get the real flavor of their poems, and then we learn more about how to get our hands on those poems at the end of the episode. Today's guest poet is Lalo Kikiriki, and she is got her first poem up and ready to go. So feel free to say whatever you want, Lalo, and go ahead and read your poem after that.
Okay, this poem is a Labor Day poem by Moonlight, which was done in Joshua Tree 2 or 3 years ago. And so it's a bit thematic for right now. And I'll just read it to you. Sketch in the clouds, floating over boulders. Here comes the moon, no fanfare, dootin' doo-doo. Levitating, silent, leaking light, a proverbial balloon, magic. Not just for you, although sometimes it seems so. That bruised old face, familiar as a mother's, nuzzling dark corners, spreading comfort in spite of herself. No regrets. This is not the sun's insistent emoji, infernal heat. Feel the night breeze, finally, cooling her paper. Night light to write by. See? Now, you see.
That's right. People can see me better too. I just found out how to improve the picture quality. I've been living in a shadow for the past few episodes, but this looks clearer than ever. Hey, I've always enjoyed your poetry, Lalo, because your poetry doesn't waste time. You know, it gets right into the magic of it. That's what I love about it. Look at that first line, sketch in the clouds, floating over boulders. So we're already in magic land. I love it. And then the second stanza has these really delicious details. That bruised old face, nuzzling, as a mother's nuzzling dark corners. You know, it's really visual. But what really surprised me, which is always a wonderful thing in a poem, was the part about this is not the sun's insistent emoji. That was just utterly brilliant. That came out of I don't know where. But when I saw that line, I had to go, wait a minute, what was the title of this poem again? Oh yeah, poem by Moonlight. So this is not the sun's insistent emoji, but that is just very satisfying. It's like a meal in a line. That's really good. Yeah, I think it's my favorite line of the whole poem. And then the ending is almost like a coda, right? You're cooling your paper, nightlight to write by. That's very pleasant. Very pleasant. It was a good Labor Day. Yeah, all right, that was an enjoyable one. Although I just realized we have the doot and doot. Doot and doot too.
Yeah. It's doot and doo-doo like
a song.
Yeah, it's like here comes the sun, doot and doo-doo. How else would you say doot and doo-doo?
I think that sounds definitive to me. Leaking light, proverbial balloon, magic. Yeah, that's the definition of your poetry to me right there. I want to see another one. Can you make magic happen? Make the second poem appear?
Let's see. There it is.
That was easy.
This one is another poem about alcoholism. I love to write about being drunk, but then most people go, oh, that's you're writing about being drunk. Are you really an alcoholic? Well, no, because if I was, I wouldn't be writing. I'd be passed out.
Well, you're in a fine tradition, so I'm not going to criticize you.
Okay, well, this one was actually, I think I'm going to maybe make a book called Back and Forth, the Back and Forther, because in Joshua Tree, there are people who go back and forth to LA all the time.
Ah.
And if you are a native Joshua Tree or Yucca Valley resident, they treat you differently than if you spend time in LA. It's almost like you're copping out.
Believe that 1,000%. Yeah, so
So
this poem's
anyway,
gonna be
that's
proof, right? Proof.
what?
This poem is gonna be proof, to use an alcoholic term, proof.
Oh, it possibly, yeah, it's gonna be, well,
Yeah.
actually, it's only about 14% alcohol, so that would be
Hey,
28
that shouldn't be
proof.
too tough to take, yeah. And it's got that warning at the beginning, champagne at dawn. So anybody that goes in here should know full well what they're getting into. Yeah,
Yes, absolutely. Okay,
let's do
so
this.
this is an interesting poem because it also counts syllables, but it doesn't count them consistently. So you can say what you think about that.
I will.
Okay, champagne at dawn. One red planet rides the last of night over the river. This is the city, Los Angeles, California. Saturday morning, only 18-wheelers sail Interstate 5. Between dark hills, Elysian Park, Taylor train yards, a digital clock reads 5:55. She puts out the light, sips that last glass cold from the freezer, green bottle in the sink. Don't waste the bubbles. Don't lose the minutes. The silver light ghosts, mountains, buildings, tents. Even the mockingbird is resting now, quiet, except for those trucks on the freeway. No, not even a siren crying. She washes her glass, rinses the bottle, turns away from the sunrise. Not even a heron flying, only her.
Wow. You are getting excellent mileage from these nouns, let me tell you. They just get richer and richer as they go down the poem. One thing that struck me right away was the dragnet. Second stanza. This is the city. This is the city, Los Angeles, California. But then it gets majestic right after that. I mean, it was majestic before. One red planet rides the last of night over the river. That's lovely right there. That could be a haiku.
That's the thing, it avoids haikuing.
Let's pause for a moment. One red planet rides the last of night over the river. That is lovely haiku right there. Saturday morning, only 18-wheelers sail. That's the key word, sail Interstate 5. That makes all the difference. I don't know the Taylor train yards is what is that? Is that where those old trains are?
No, that's Travel Town. The train yards are an active, it's been there forever. And it's an active train track. So if you live there, you're looking over the Coast Starlight and the Surfliner and all these amazing 100-car long freight trains all day long.
There's
like
a lot
trailer
of
yard.
activity there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And every detail, I'm enjoying it. A digital clock reads 5:55. That's a late night. This is a great visuals here. Sips that last glass cold from the freezer, green bottle in the sink. And then they just get more majestic as we go along. This silver light ghosts. Even the mockingbird is resting now, quiet. The trucks, that's not so pretty, but a siren crying, that's pretty because you get both meanings of the word siren. It's not just an emergency vehicle siren, it's also a siren. In my poetic eyes. And I think that's what you intended. Yeah, because later on, the finish, not even a heron flying, only her. Which of course makes me think of her as the heron, heron, the heron, the heron, the her. That's pretty good craft. That's the word I'm looking for. That's pretty good craft going on there. Very crafty. A delightful read. Always magical. We got one more, huh?
I have one more.
let's steamroll
And
to it.
it takes us back to the desert. So it's back and forth, going back and forth. To the
Another
desert.
title of foreboding, Dead Man's Accordion. Get strapped
Okay,
in,
yeah.
everybody. Take us.
Yeah, I have a dead man's accordion, and so this is about what it's like to play the accordion of somebody that you remember. In a cabin north of Joshua Tree National Park, an old woman listens to Roadrunner radio, straps on a dead man's accordion to play along with Alan Price, House of the Rising Sun. It's A minor, D minor, E minor. In other words, C. But the old instrument can't make minor chords, only the majors, and it stops at A, balking at sorrow, built to play only happy tunes. She sets the accordion into its case, the memory of his long fingers she has put away like fallen leaves dried between sheets of tissue. The animals finish the song. The organ solo ends on its minor chord. Is it D minor, saddest of keys? Perhaps. Sin, misery, regret, blown out onto this desert wind.
Another excellent poetic dismount. Yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again. My favorite kind of poems are the ones that have natural phrasing. The way you say it out loud is the way we're reading it. So there's no dissonance there. Right away, Roadrunner Radio. Oh, that must be a desert thing. Yeah, Roadrunner Radio.
Yeah, I'm not even sure the station exists anymore, but at the
Yeah.
time there was a Roadrunner radio.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Everybody knows the song, that's for sure. When I got to that end of the second stanza, the accordion balking at sorrow, built only to play happy tunes, is another delicious detail. And of course, the third stanza tops that with the memory of his long fingers she has put away like fallen leaves dry between sheets of tissue. Oh, lovely. Utterly lovely. And of course, I have a personal connection with that one. I still have a leaf from 1982 pressed between two pages of a book of poetry to remember a special time.
Oh.
Still there. Got a couple poems out of that one over the years. So the animals finished the song, and you got all those chord things. I have to admit, I don't speak chord. But when you say the saddest of keys, I learned quickly. Sin, misery, regret, blown out onto this desert wind. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So as you can see, this is a poet worth reading. And how can we get our hands on the poetry of Lalo Kikiriki? Is it available?
I have a book out on what they call Amazon. I think it was odd because just as I was getting it out, Amazon bought up the printing arm of something that was doing my book, but you could still get it. Anyway, my book is called Dreams of the Everyday Housewife, 25 years in the making. And
I have this book. I love this book.
Oh, do you?
I have it. I know I have it because it's got that distinctive cover of a housewife on it.
It does have a housewife on it.
It's like
Snake,
retro.
The Snake Jagger illustration. Snake Jagger, by the way, if you like his work, will be at the Open Studio Tours in Joshua Tree this month in October. The Open Studio Tours are 3 weekends that you can go over and see anybody that you want to, and I'll be on it too. But it's for art, not necessarily for poetry. But I always have copies of the book there too. And Snake had a few of them. I don't know what he did with them. He cares more about, he sells like in the 4 and 5 figures, you know, so he's a little bit beyond me. But anyway, yeah, that's his illustration, and the title comes from a country western song by Chris Gantry called
Now that I didn't know.
Dreams of, it comes from these are the dreams of the everyday housewife you see everywhere, any time of the day. It's a terrible song, but it's a great idea. And it's not a terrible song. It's just
It's not
a
the
male
most memorable.
chauvinist song.
Yeah.
It's sung by
Yeah.
Glenn Campbell.
Well,
So, anyway, I just like the name of it.
all right, so that's good to know. We've had a very efficient episode here.
Well, good.
I am going to ask you to, can you close the screen share? Do you know how? You go to the top of the screen.
Yeah,
to
stop the
close it.
share. Stop the
Yeah,
share,
yeah.
right?
That's correct.
Stop. Oh, there I go.
Yeah, so
That's
people
me.
can get one last look at us. Oh yeah.
Right.
I'm not sure I'm in love with this new detail here. I'm gonna,
It's too it's too
too revealing.
too detailed.
This digital revealing is too much for me.
Yeah, maybe we should put the spray the
Put
oil
some
on it so we
soft
get
blur, soft focus. Yeah.
the
All
soft
right,
focus.
I'm going to end this recording and thank you once
Okey doke.
more.